in the middle of it well before we come back from break, so I don't want to waste a second of your time about your long career in the music business and your new book, Sex, No Drugs, and Rock and Roll, Memoirs of a Music Junkie. Thank you so much for coming
Okay, here. What this is a story of a very horny little guy trying to make it in the music business during the 60s and 70s, which was me.
Okay, spoiler alert on that one. And mission accomplished, because here we are all these years later.
Yeah.
Ups and downs.
Yeah. So, yeah, and the other interesting thing about the book is the concept is that our baby boomer generation went through the same growth process as the country. We started innocent, and everything was simple and black and white like our television sets. And as we got into our teenage years and started rebelling, the country went into rebellion and revolution. And as we got cynical with Nixon and Watergate, the country became cynical. And the music reflected that all the way along.
Yeah.
And it all affected me and the music I was making and the people I was making music with.
Yeah. What a cool time to have your career and your life's work correspond with that.
Really exciting.
I mean, like you said, highs and lows, but never boring.
And on top of that, there was so much going on. There was the civil rights movement, the anti-war situation, the women's movement, drug situation, all those things happening and hitting each other.
Yeah.
And the music exploded.
Yeah.
So it was so much fun to be a musician at that time.
Yeah.
Because everything was new.
Tell you what, I've heard people say that before around your age group, give or take, and not just musicians, but like old DJs and people like, oh, it's just cool to be around that now, maybe in a way that it's not then. You were getting paid a little bit to be a part of a party. In some cases, very little.
I wasn't getting paid much at all.
Yeah.
And the other interesting thing happened is with me personally, and it's in the book, is that I kept signing these big deals. I signed with major record companies, with big producers, and every time I signed a deal, someone lost their job or went bankrupt or died. And my parents said I should stop signing deals with people I liked because I was killing everybody. but it's typical for the music business. For every one act that makes it through, there's hundreds and hundreds of other really talented musicians that you never hear or never quite make it because of the timing, because of the people that's involved, and that was the business all the way along.
Yeah.
It changed with the internet. The industry changed with the internet, and we're in a whole new world now. It's a whole different situation.
It's so interesting. I mean, it's a testament to you that you did keep going, even though these things all fell through. I want to just kind of jump around a little bit, but sharing the stage, Van Morrison, Jefferson Airplane, Richie Havens, just as a few. Well, I mean, you've some pretty cool.
Well, what happened was I was playing Greenwich Village as a kid.
Okay.
Going from coffee house to coffee house with our guitars.
Like a singer-songwriter type
on Hootenanny night.
Yeah.
You make your name, put your name on a list, and you go to all the clubs, and you keep going around and playing. And then those that got the best reaction, the club owners would put in as the opening act for the big acts. So eventually I got to open for Eric Anderson and Bill Oakes and Buffy St. Marie and Buzzy Linhart and all these big names because I was one of the local guys that could open up the shows.
Yeah.
And then one night I was working at the bitter end, and a promoter was doing a big show with Van Morrison and Jefferson Airplane, and they needed someone to get in front of the stage and perform while they were setting up backstage, and that was a breakthrough for me. So that worked out really great.
That's so cool. I'm sure so many stories of that era in the book.
In the book.
Also a lot of Austin stories because you have been at South by Southwest from the beginning, 30 years ago.
Let me throw in one other thing.
Sure.
I have time.
Absolutely. Let's do it.
One of the exciting things for me was I went back and found cassettes of music that I had performed back then, and digitized it and put it into the book.
Oh, wow.
So in the audio book, in the ebook, in the iBook, as you're reading along, you can click on it and actually hear some of my music, which is finally cool that I got it out.
That's so cool. Hey, that's better late than never. By the way, we want to mention that's the book signing coming up a little bit later this week at the Convention Center.
Yep, on Friday.
Different events that you'll be having coming out. Again, I don't know where to jump on this. You have been here since the beginning. The music industry has changed in the last few years. It seems to me, and we've got a young band listening to you as we talk now.
Okay.
Getting ready. It seems like there's a lot of ways to get in and get music made maybe easier than ever before. There's just not the big machine once you get going.
Like what happened was once the internet started the file-to-file sharing situation with Napster and such, when there was no longer any money to be made selling those CDs, the record companies all started to go out of business. And so the whole infrastructure for being able to market and build and distribute acts disappeared. So now there's everyone's equal, But being equal, there's no structure to be able to put the songs out, to get the material marketed, to get to the people.
Yeah.
So it's much harder to break through.
Yeah, that's why your story is even more important as a music survivor, because you always survive, and that music's going to keep going on. Barely. Well, we'll take it. Once again, Sex, No Drugs, and Rock and Roll, Memoirs of a Music Junkie, Lenny Kalikow. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
I wish we had about an hour more, but come out on Friday. I'll talk to you.
Thanks again.
We'll be right back.